Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone out there is doing well. What I wanted to do in this video is show what I consider, these are just my thoughts. I chose 5 classic progressive rock albums that I still listen to this day and have a lot of memories of the first time when I had these records. These records meant a lot to me. They inspired me in ways to, write my own lyrics or my own poetry, or not only enjoying them as great progressive rock records, but also out of hearing certain kinds of music in these pieces of music from these albums. I went get into other types of genre like jazz or classical or even probably more rock. But I just wanted to show, like I'm saying, 5 uh, Prog records. Now these are not nothing are new to anybody, or they're not nothing really rare. I mean, you can pretty much get these in bargain bins or however you shop for records, and they're not the new modern prog rock, progressive rock bands, or anything, but those bands I'm sure were inspired by these bands. So I want to go ahead and start off with and like I mentioned, I don't know if I said that already, but I still listen to these records quite a bit. And sometimes I have a few formats of them, like the CD or the cassette and the vinyl. The first one I want to show, released in 1970, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, an album that I love so much that it's very progressive yet folky, classical, and I just love the sort of the real complex changes in the music. A few of my favorite tracks are like Knife Edge and Tank. I like to listen to those quite a bit. And the acoustic guitar playing in the song Lucky Man. So you get a little bit of everything, and that's what one of my things, as I earlier said, that listen to a record like this led me to listening to some more classical music or folky type stuff. 1970 ELP. All right, the next one from 1972, and I still have it in the plastic cover. A Tab in the Ocean. Nectar. I used to say nectar, but I've noticed people that are really into wanting to pronounce everything correctly say nectar. So this is their album released back in 1972. This album is so good. I forget how great it is. I love that it has a little bit of a psychedelic to it. But this is one of those prog albums that if you check out, in my opinion, this is just pure prog gold. One of their best, along with the first album they did called "A Remember of the Future," something like that. I'm not very good at remembering the title sometimes, but this album is I don't even remember how I got into this band. I think it was just one of those. Remember the Future was the album that I just remember doing the blind buy and liking it and getting some of their other records. But yes, that's another one that I listen to quite a bit. All right. Another one, this is the first, I would say, if I remember correctly, the first prog album I listened to with headphones and was blown away by it. And that's King Crimson, In the Court of a Crimson King. Yeah, this is just another one of those great albums from 1969. It's got classical. It's got them doing jazz, being symphonic and folk. This album right here is I could see and understand why it's just an album that I think has stood the test of time and still will. I mean, I wouldn't, I couldn't really say where to start with King Crimson, but this was the album that this one and the others followed that I started to get in more and more into their music and their later period with Adrian Blue and some really great stuff. Okay, I got a couple more left here. This one right here was sent by a good friend, Will, from Will's Rush page. He sent me this. It's a Canadian import. It's from the Canadian rockers Rush, Hemispheres, 1978. Yeah, this is such a really, really good record. I love that they incorporate a lot of the sci-fi themes into this, and this is a continuation of a storyline, a book, as you would say, from the album Farewell to Kings. Side 2 is the great side 2 of the album. Circumstances, the Trees, and La Vida. I don't know how to say that very well, but I think you get the idea. But yeah, this is just straightforward, really good prog, and Rush always bringing the A game to their records. So, and the last one I want to show is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, it's probably my second favorite album next to Dark Side of the Moon being my all-time favorite album. Yes, I do consider Pink Floyd to be progressive rock. This album came out in 1971, and I'll never forget when I heard Roundabout on the radio. That is such a good classic progressive rock song and made the charts. And it's here we go, Fragile. One of the best. I mean, this is one of the staples in progressive rock music, this album. I love the complex changes in the music on this album. It's got a couple of my other big favorites on here to listen to. Mood for a Day. Love the acoustic guitar playing. Steve Howe, very great guitarist. South Side of the Sky. I love that. The Heart of the Sunrise. Those two right there are the what would you call the staples to this album. I mean, this album comes together real good. An album that they made, from what I understand, while touring. So it doesn't sound like that, because I would think that something like this would be rushed and be put together. But no, this album sounds like they went into the studio, they worked on it, and put their skills and came out with that great craft and progressive rock music. Yes, Fragile. There you go, folks. There you have it. Those are just my favorite classic progressive rock albums. I have other ones that I might show and talk about, and most likely it'll be nothing new that we haven't seen or heard of, but one of the reasons I wanted to do that is to share my love for progressive rock and and encourage those to go back and listen to those. I know we have them, we own them, and we just let records sit there, but it's always good to go visit an old friend, is what I've always been told. Take care, everybody. Please leave me a comment below, hit the thumbs up, and we'll talk to you later.